Hello everyone, welcome to the Digital Marketing Gyan, your favorite podcast destination for all the informative tools, techniques, case studies, and latest updates in the digital marketing domain. I'm your host Prince Kumar, and we are going to discuss a very interesting topic today. It is about creating algorithm-proof social media marketing plan. And also, we will try to learn about amazing trick of creating 365 social media posts in just 5 days. We have Elizabeth Pampalone with us as our expert guest for today. She's an international speaker, podcaster, and expert marketer. Elizabeth has developed proven formula that help her business and her clients to create 1 year of marketing content in just 5 days. Her innovative approach helped overwhelm business owners and turns out non-profit director to achieve success and freedom through the power of absolute marketing. Hi Elizabeth, a warm welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me.
So to start with our complete conversation of the today, can you let us know about your journey so far and also about this absolute marketing?
Yes, so I've actually been in business for almost 15 years, and I started a computer repair company back in the day. and I didn't really think of it as a business. I just thought of it as a way to make money. And turns out I had a great business, and I owned that company for 10 years. And during all that time, I kind of went back to my roots, and I decided to do more marketing for clients that I had and for myself as well, because I needed a website, for my business. And I started my firm, and it was, just kind of the traditional marketing firm. We did websites, we did social, we just did whatever anybody asked. We kind of figured it out and did it. But one of the things that I noticed was that a lot of my clients wouldn't get me any of their content until the last day of our contract. We did 30-day contracts, and they would wait till the last second, shove all this content at me, and then expect an amazing website from it. And so I was literally building sites in one day because it was so stressful. They would just send me all their stuff last minute, So I thought, you know what? If I could just get them to sit down for one day, it would be so much easier. And that's when I came up with Absolute Marketing, because I had been doing that for myself. I had been creating, large amounts of content in shorter periods of time because that's what I needed to do for myself so that I could run my business. And I thought, well, I bet a lot of other people have this same issue. So I created Absolute Marketing, and we started with website in a day. That was our first thing. Then we went to branding in a day. And then now we have, social media in a day, email marketing in a day, blogging in a day, podcasting in a day, memberships in a day. We have 8 full days now, but people can mix and match them. Not everyone needs, a podcast. Not everyone needs, a membership. But I think everyone does need the 5 pillars of what we do, which is they need a good brand. You need a good website. You need 1 year of social in your pocket, ready to go. You need 1 year of email marketing and 1 year of blogging. Sometimes people will switch out the blogs for podcasts, which is good. But really you need 1 year of external content that you're going to be pushing out, like a blog or like a podcast. So we create all of those things for our clients, and it takes 5 days to do all of those things. But the social media actually only takes 1 day, which is really awesome.
Definitely, this is something which is very unique in itself. Means creating a complete website. If you are mentioning about, having a complete website in just 1 day and creating a social media plan in a 1 day, which generally, it takes a kind of month to create that plan, to create that strategy. So definitely, we are looking forward to understand from you that what is strategy behind it, or what is the complete ingredients that you put out within a day.
Yeah, it's actually a lot simpler than people think. I try to make things simple because marketing itself has been overcomplicated by tons and tons of people, and it's not what it really seems, right? So when we sit down to do any kind of marketing for any of our clients, I always start with the brand. You can't even do social unless you have a brand. You can't even really do social unless you have a good website. So when we put things together, we create the brand first. Who are you? What are you selling? And who are you selling it to? Really understanding that, creating a visual representation for that doesn't just serve your likes and interests, but serves the likes and interests of your client. And then we create the website that has all that branding on it, that has all that information. If you were to talk to someone today and tell them about what you do, and then they were to say, oh, okay, and kind of, walk away and conversation is over, wouldn't it be great if you could say, you know what, I have a free thing for you I'd like to give you. It's on my website. Here's the page you can go to. It's free. That would make them really interested to go there. And so having those things on your website, making sure your website is branded and all the content is consistent, but also that it has things like pricing. I know a lot of people don't want to put prices on their website, but I feel like it's important. Putting your pricing out there, putting the description of what am I going to do with you on, let's say for my example, on the day, what are we going to do? How's it going to work? How long does it take? All that stuff that they would want to know if they were ready to buy something. So you want to make sure that you have that set up. Then you can move to what I call like the J3, which is social media. Because if you don't have a good brand, you don't know who you are. You can't represent yourself on social media. If you don't have a good website, what are you going to be linking to on your social? You can't just post cat videos all the time. That's maybe a few, but not all the time. And so you want to make sure that you have these really solid pieces first. And I think that's why a lot of people actually have issues with their social media is because they don't start at the beginning. They start with social media, they think it's going to be everything and do everything for them, and it really isn't. So starting with your brand, really knowing who you are, what you're selling, and who you're selling it to, and then making a website that represents that clearly. There was a nonprofit that I was talking with someone about a couple weeks ago, and they were telling me that they went to the site, and it was a big international company. And they said, I couldn't figure out what they did. I wanted to help them, but I couldn't work with them, volunteer, whatever. I couldn't figure out what they were actually doing. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to put my name in the, on the hat to actually volunteer. And I thought that was so interesting because even large companies, large corporations have issues with those kinds of things. So it's definitely one of those interesting juxtapositions where people think that their marketing isn't working, but really it's not their marketing. It's probably their brand or maybe even their website or probably both.
Perfectly, rightly said, rightly said. So can you help the audience understand why the social media plan for businesses should be algorithm proof? And also, does it vary from business to business?
Yes, so I actually have a very strict formula that we follow. It has some different pieces you can modulate in and out. It's kind of like our days, right? We have the 5 days, which I think are like the baseline. But then there's like, if you don't want to do a blog, you could do a podcast, or maybe you need a membership and that's kind of your website. So there's like little things you can tweak here and there, but the formula pretty much remains the same for social media. And the way that it's put together is really about what do clients want to know? And a lot of clients want to know the same things. They want to know about the process. They want to know about the people. They want to know the price. They want to know what it's going to cost. Even if the cost is not monetary, they still want to know. And there's a lot of things that people don't say on social that they should be saying on a regular basis. It's because they forget, they don't have time. They get caught up in something else. They're worried about this event or that event and this new thing, that new thing. And they forget about all those foundational pieces that keep your social media going when you're not there, when you're busy. So that's one thing. The algorithm proof part is really interesting. And when I started working on this, I kind of decided that why do we have to listen to the way that social media tells us to be? Why do we have to do what they say? Why can't we do it the way that we know it's going to work and the way that's going to work for us? Not necessarily for the big corporations, not necessarily for the, the multi-million-dollar companies. This is for small business. And so honestly, the algorithm changes every 5 minutes. Unless you have a dedicated person on top of it, you're never going to be able to break it, or you're never going to be able to bust through, and actually make it work for you. So I said, well, why don't we just throw it out? Just throw the algorithm out. We don't even care about it because it's not the point of what we're trying to do. We're not here to provide social media with content. because of an algorithm. We're here to provide our clients with little reminders that, hey, we're here. Don't forget about us. When you think you want to buy something, or when you think you want to use a service or do something fun, remember that we're here. And so that's all social media is really designed to be for small business. But it's been made into this massive thing that social media has, I would say Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, those kind of companies, they've made it something where they say, well, you have to follow our rules or you don't get in, and you have to do these things or it's not going to work for you. It does work. You just have to know how to use it for yourself. And that's why we call it algorithm proof. And I think that's important, because why do we have to sit here and worry about them so much when we should be worrying about our clients and our customers and the people who make our team work and all that kind of stuff? So I say throw out the algorithm. Who needs it? And when you're at this level, small business, do your thing and use it as a tool. Don't let it take over and you become the worker for social media providing content.
Definitely, definitely. Kind of this is a kind of completely new thought that we generally, depend on the social media platforms to understand what are their algorithms. And definitely somewhere we miss what is the expectation that we have from the client. So rightly, we should be focusing more on our content, focusing more on our client business, and definitely the platforms or the algorithm will fit somewhere.
Exactly. And also, it's not just about social media. The 5 days that we do, we include something with, blogging or podcasting. We include email marketing and making sure you have a solid website, because networking is still going to be important, whether you're doing it online or in person. Podcasting and blogging are still going to be important. It's going to help push that message out there further without any algorithms. It's just going to be online, right? And then you've also got email marketing, which so many people totally discount, totally write off. And I'm sitting here thinking, why are we not using this? This is amazing. And it's most of the time free. And we're sitting here ignoring it and worried so much about social media, which with ads, could cost thousands of dollars a month. So I try to make sure that it's a diverse marketing plan. We're not just relying on social, because then we can get stuck in that hole.
Great, great. Since you were mentioning about one day for each activity, so can you help us? Let us take step by step. So let us take the website. So what is the one day strategy that you give to your client for the? We will go with the website. Then we will try to understand social media and the other parts also.
Yeah, so for the website specifically, I try to keep it as simple as possible and really look at it from someone else's perspective. When you're the owner, when you're the person running the business, it's very difficult to see kind of outside of that. You're looking at it going, well, I need to put this on there and I need to put that on there and people need to know this and that. But it's really helpful to have a third party, an external person, to actually come in and say, okay, you tell me your story. And this is what I do for my clients. And I know a lot of designers have done this in the past. Tell me your story and let me repeat your story back to you. And that's what we put on the website, because I'm this external person. I'm outside of it. I don't know your business intimately. I don't know everything about it. And so when you tell me the story, it's as if you were telling someone in person, right? You're talking to that person. You're telling them what you would say if you were in a networking meeting or you were out on the street talking to someone. And so this is for them to really verbalize their story, and for me as the designer, the developer, the implementer, to write everything down that I catch, the things that stand out. And that's what we put on the site. So it's been really helpful for that. And that's what I recommend for the website, is that you find someone who you can tell the story to, you can explain what you do to them, and then have them repeat back what stood out to them from that. And that's what you use on the site.
Okay, so for the website, you have given a brief idea of about how one can create this website and just in a single. Now coming to the social media part, what is your social media strategy into a one day? And also, I would like to understand that is it a kind of common, or it varies from platform to platform?
I do try and keep things really systematic. So I don't like to vary a lot between platforms unless there's different audiences on different platforms. Because sometimes content you create for one audience may not work for another audience. So you want to make sure that whatever audiences you're kind of cross platforming. So for example, Facebook and Instagram are very similar type audiences in most cases. For the reasons that people use them, they're trying to attract the same type of person in those regards. Also, possibly Pinterest as well might be thrown in there. Some of them require different sizes for different platforms, but we try to just keep it as succinct as possible, like across the board the same for as many platforms as possible, and then have separate strategies for other platforms depending on what you're trying to use. Also, sometimes Facebook and LinkedIn can be really similar as well. So it depends on the client, who their audience is, and who they're trying to attract, but you can sometimes group social media platforms together and create one strategy and have it go to both of them. And as far as like actually creating the content, you want to systematize it down to, looking at a single week and then planning out that full week and then replicating that over time. Sometimes we'll plan out a month and then we'll repeat that month multiple times. Sometimes, and it's different content, but similar topics, if that makes sense, similar structure. And I don't give out too much of my proprietary methods anymore, but I do try to give you at least something. But it's a lot easier when your brain is able to sit down and create one thing at a time. So if you're just working on social media for the day, it's a lot easier for your brain to just go into social media mode. You can get so much more done rather than saying, I'm going to work an hour on my brand, an hour on my website, an hour on my social media, and then I have 10 phone calls, and then I have 3 meetings, and then I'm on a podcast. It's too much for your brain to switch back and forth through all those things. So it's easier to just say, this is my social media day. I'm going to get as much done in this as I can, and I'm going to block out everything else except for social media today. So it's really helpful to do that. It actually helps you create more at once.
So within a day, if the complete strategy has been developed, then nothing can do wonders than that. What were the other three that you were mentioning about?
Oh, yeah. So the other days are branding is always first. We always do branding first. That's where we create our logo, our mission, vision, the color scheme. We pull stock images to kind of fill in the website for later. We kind of make sure we know what the feel is. So all of our images look like they go together. Maybe they have a branding images that they've done. Most people don't, so I like to pull stock images that kind of make the full picture for their business. And we also create an ebook on the branding day, and that helps to really give us something that's free that we can give away to people when someone comes to the website for the first time. And it's a great way for someone to be explaining the website and say, oh yeah, you got to go get this. It's free. You have to try it. And it's a great thing for you to get more people involved rather than just the passersby that would go, oh yeah, great website. Okay, moving on. I don't need that. They want the free thing, right? So, and a way to build your email list as well. So the first day is really branding, logo, mission, vision, all that stuff, and then an ebook or some kind of free giveaway. And then the second day is website. The third day is social media. The fourth day is either blogging or podcasting. I find that some people are more natural writers and some people are more natural speakers. I'm a more natural speaker. I don't like writing very much. And so I've done a podcast for the last 2 years, and it's been really successful and really helpful. So it's been a great thing. And I do a lot of them. I don't do a year in a day, but I do like a half a year in a day. And so that's been great. And then the fifth day is the email marketing. And I think everybody should be doing email marketing. And because we have this first day where we create this ebook or this freebie to give away, now on the fifth day, we have this email marketing piece where we can kind of tie all of it together and create some automations and create some email sequences that would go with our free ebook. And allow people to be in contact with us and in touch with us when we have something exciting going on or whether they're on one of our sequences.
So the fourth day that you mentioned, that was regarding the blogs or the podcast and these all. So
Yes.
What is the strategy that generally give? In terms of let's say blog, do you go with the topics or it's a kind of frequency that you try to highlight, or what is the thing that you try to give to the client in that?
So everything that we create on all the 5 days, even if blogging or podcasting, we're creating full things. So let's just go through them real quick, and then I'll get to the blog part because it makes it easier to understand. When we do the brand, we are creating everything that I mentioned. We're writing the mission vision. We're creating the logo. We're getting all the colors and the formats of the logo. We're creating that ebook, and we're actually making the PDF. It's completed. It's finished. The second day, we are launching a live website from start to finish, 0 to 60, everything in between. Live website is launched. Day 3 is literally 365 posts, and a lot of our clients actually get more than that because we post on multiple platforms. And so one of my clients, we did a day with her for social, and she got 1,000 posts done. So it was insane. And then we have day 4, which is blogging or podcasting. So we pick the topics, and each day starts with like a strategy session, and then we actually do the thing, right? Because the strategy could take all day, but it doesn't need to. So we strategize in the morning. We get the topics down for our blog or our podcast even. We write some really good titles, and then the client will either record or write the blogs, or they'll record the podcasts in the studio at our offices, while we create the graphics and set up the social posts that go with it and all that stuff. So we will create a bunch of that stuff. Now for the blogs, we can get 12 done in a day, no problem. For the podcast, they take a little longer. You do have to edit them. So it depends on how long their podcasts are. If they have guests, we might get 3 or 4 done in a day, but that's to get them started, right? We just want to get them started. So we're really we're strategizing, creating, and implementing and scheduling everything that we create on all of these days. And then on the email marketing day, we've created everything so that all the emails are written, all the sequences are done, and we don't have to worry about them, unless we want to make a new email for something new that's coming out.
Since you are doing these all stuff in just 4 to 5 days, how you retain the client? Means they are a kind of just a one time, or it's a kind of, you look for posting and then you do the frequent analysis and these all things.
Yeah, so some clients are one and done. I like to get them self-sufficient. So I find that if you create a self-sufficient client, they are either going to take it and run with it, which they were going to do anyway, or they're going to say, I really liked the way you helped me. I want to stay and do something else with you or come back. So I like to create self-sufficient clients so that they can take it and run with it. I want them to be independent. But if they don't want to be independent on their own and they want help, or they want strategy ideas, or they want like my brain involved in their stuff somehow, then we have a maintenance program that I created where we just charge a monthly flat rate. You get a set number of hours, and we help you. You send us information, you send in a ticket, we fix things for you on your site, we upload things to your social, we create graphics. So it's kind of like we're just your like helper, we're like your assistant in that way. But we also have the strategy behind it. So if you have a thing and you're like, hey, I was thinking about doing XYZ, I'm not sure if it's good or if I should work on this. And then we can sit down for an hour and strategize with them, and that uses up some of their time that they've paid for. So we do have maintenance program. I really like that because then I'm able to help clients build on what we've built originally. But some clients, they just want to take it and run with it. I've had a lot of clients that take it, run with it. They've done the whole 5 days. They're ready to go. And then they come back next year because they do their social with us. They do their blogs with us. They do their emails with us. So everything is refreshed. They don't need a new brand. They don't need a new website. So they'll come back and do 2 or 3 days with us again from the previous year, doing a new year of content, and now they're off and running again. So I do a little bit of both, where I send people off and right off into the sunset, and then I do some where people will stay and they'll want our help going on in the future.
Great. Can you also recommend any social media tools, or any kind of automation tools that you generally prefer, or you can help the audience know about it?
Yes, so I actually have something on my website. It's a free free thing, and it is called the Pro Toolkit. Anybody who wants to know what I use personally for my business, for my clients, it is all listed there. I don't hold any of them back. Everything I use is listed. I have discounts on some things. Some of them are free, and I give a little description of why I use it, how I use it, what it's for. So I would really encourage everyone who wants to know exactly what I use, and this is across the board. This is for invoicing. This is for client documents when I'm doing contracts. This is for everything from social media schedulers to email marketing to podcasting tools. And just like the little odds and ends in between, my accounting software, my CRM, everything that I use is in this platform. And even things I've used for clients. Maybe I don't use it personally, but a client has used it in the past and it was really, really incredible. And so I want to share that, that really specific thing with people. So all of that is in there. And the great thing about it is it's constantly changing. So it is a living document, if you will. And I'm constantly in there. If I don't like something, if something kind of goes bad, if you will, I will actually take it out and it's gone. So that's constantly being updated and added to. So as I find new and interesting things, I put them in there.
Perfect. And the website is, I think so, absolutemarketing.com. This is the domain where you are, which you are mentioning about.
Yes, it's getabsolutemarketing.com,
Okay.
and there's a free tab, and I've got quite a few free things on there, but the Pro Toolkit is the first one.
Great, great. Definitely. We would recommend that, if anyone is looking for these tools, they should visit the website and take the advantage of it because that has
Yes.
been proven by Elizabeth. So yeah, since you have given these all advices, I think so these will be very informative for us. Any last piece of advice you would want to give to the businesses?
Yes, absolutely. If anybody is struggling with money and feeling like everything is always tight and they're not making enough, I actually found a book, and I believe this is really helpful even internationally, not just in the US. The book is based on the US tax system, so you will see that in the book that I'm going to mention. But it's more about the concept, more about the principle of it. So no matter what your tax structure is like, you can still use the concepts here. And it's called Profit First. And it's about how a small business can actually make their profit on day zero, day one. So tomorrow, let's say somebody paid you $5 for something, you would actually make a profit on that, and you would be able to pay yourself money for your own, paycheck, and you'd still be able to pay taxes, and you'd still be able to run your business. So all of those things are in that book. It's called Profit First. If you Google it, you will find it is like the major book that's out there. There's not really any copies or names of the same book. So if you look up Profit First, you'll find it. And it's a really amazing book. And it helped me to save my business when we were really at the point where we could have gone under because of mismanagement of funds. Not because I was just spending money like crazy, but because I didn't know what I didn't know. And as a small business owner, you don't go to finance school before you become a business owner, usually. So this is a great book to help anybody who's started a business and they always feel like they're out of money. It's really great. And it's actually helped us to actually pay a paycheck. And from the first day I read it, I was able to pay myself a paycheck, which is just crazy sounding.
Amazing, amazing. So definitely you have given, a valuable advice which everyone should look upon. And then definitely, since you have mentioned a book, and we will even, try to get some secrets of yours, the way you are running this complete business of yours into, and then, creating strategies in just 5 days. So definitely we will try to learn some of your secrets from them. So with this, we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you once again, Elizabeth, for your lively discussion and sharing your valuable advices with our audience. It was pleasure having you on our show, and I will definitely want you that you should be coming to our show and share some more informative tips in the future.
Absolutely.